Okay, welcome back. So, let me introduce you once again to your necktop computer. Now, like all computers, there is a process, and I'd like to just explore that process a little bit now. As we've already discovered, we take in our world through our senses. So the necktop computer takes in data. It takes in data visually, auditory, kinesthetically, olfactorily and gustatorily. And this is what's known as the sextuplet in NLP language. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory, and there is auditory digital, which I will come back to later. It takes in the world through the senses. We then put that information through a series of filters, as we've already explored: language, experiences, values, meta-programs, etc. It's a bit like a virus, really, and those filters create this process of deletion and distortion and generalization. We then store that, we encode that experience in our memory. We write it on our hard drive. So having written that onto our hard drive, at some stage, as with most computers, we want to do something with it. So we want to process that. And to do that, we need to access that information from our hard drive. And it's a bit like you have your keyboard, you access information from the hard drive, you do something with it, you process it, and then you do one of two things. One of three things, actually, except that in our case, we don't actually delete. You then either re-encode your adjusted experience, or you output it. Now, when you re-encode it, you are in effect having brought it out from your memory, thought about it, discussed it, whatever. You've added something to it. You've enriched it by adding an emotional attachment to it, which involves more distortion, or more deletion, or more generalization. And then you re-encode it, or you output it verbally, using your language. So just like our necktop computer as a real computer, we have this process. And there are clues as to how we do this. We've already explored how we prefer to take information in. We've explored what we do with that information. We're now going to be exploring other areas of what we do with them. Before we do that, I want to introduce you to a new word. Many new words on this journey of NLP, and this one is modalities. The modalities are the way in which we handle our experience. In other words, the modalities are those areas in which we take in, process and output information. The modalities are visual, auditory, kinesthetic and auditory digital. This is the new one that I'm adding for you now. So we have the visual world, the world of sound, the world of kinesthetics, which is touch, and also in terms of modalities, this one will also include olfactory, gustatory, and kinesthetics in terms of emotional feelings. Emo. And auditory digital. Now, auditory digital is about internal dialogue, because some people process information by having a conversation with themselves. I'll show you a bit later on how to actually recognise that. We all do it. Some people do it more predominantly than others. So these are our modalities. These are the ways in which we like to take in our world, process things. And you're already beginning to experience your preferred modality. And a little bit further on, we're going to start talking about submodalities, and the submodalities are the qualities of these modalities. For example, when you start talking about visual, you start talking about colour images or black and white images, moving images or still images. For auditory, you start talking about sounds that are stereo or mono, sounds that are constant or not constant. For kinesthetics, you start talking about associating things through sensations of emotion, of vibration, of warmth, of touch, of size. So these are, if you like, they're the qualities, they're the building bricks of our very experience. And we'll be coming back to that very soon. For now, I want you to think about the modalities, and I want you to start thinking about listening to the words that people use and how they give you clues as to the modalities that people prefer to use. More about that a bit later.